This agenda would be like I'll talk about the Selenium, what is Selenium, what is the importance of Selenium, and what basically we have a separate syllabus where we follow our standards. And then we'll also talk about the framework because this is a very popular one. The people attending this kind of demos, they always expect to see a live demo of any one of the frameworks. We also teach and how to implement the frameworks from scratch. So when I say frameworks, there are something like data-driven, hybrid-driven frameworks. POM is very popular nowadays in Selenium. It's called as page object model technique. And also BDD, you guys might have heard something like behavior-driven development. Even that also we see a small demo. Okay. So when it comes to automation, so this is something people know what is automation. Basically, wherever we see a very regression cases, so we'll try to always automate those regression cases and convert the manual test case to an automation test case, so that your regression cycle will drastically calm down. So wherever you do a repeated task, you'll always try to automate with any kind of tool, not only Selenium, it can be any kind of tool. So also, most of the people might feel the manual testing is too boring because the same way I need to test all over the time, and there is no challenging in my career in terms of manual QA or whatever. So if you think like that, then automation is really basically a good switch there. You can start learning the technical things that's involved in any kind of automation. It can be QTP or Selenium, whatever. So and also it will be more challenging. You day to day you learn too many things within this automation. It will be more exciting, challenging, and be more fun sometimes. So it's also improves your technical thing, or the way you think, the reasoning skills or the analytical skills. It will be a great into a technical side always. Okay, so there are a lot of tools available in the market. You might have heard some people said they work at QTP and even they tried Selenium. So other tools, something like you just need to know the name. That is something like test complete, Windrunner, Loadrunner, Battery, or whatever. There are a lot of tools available. Almost all open source, and IBM with HP. I mean QTP are like license-based tools. So now coming to Selenium, Selenium is a very popular open source tool to automate any kind of web application. When I say open source, it's totally free. Means you don't have to pay anything. We just need to download from their site and start, working on them. It's pretty easy. So the investment wise, think about the companies investing on automations. For them, there is a zero cost. So they need to pay anything for that, not even for a maintenance or whatever. The only problem they face today is, okay, we are not getting a technical QA wherein they can basically automate using the Selenium. So just we need to learn what is Selenium and how to be in the market, like try to implement more about the framework or whatever. So for that, we have designed a course in such a way that it benefits both for a beginner as well as even automation experience guys. The only condition here is or prerequisite, you should know about any programming language. And I say any programming language, it can be any OOPS language. So for example, you might know Perl or probably C, I think C language or C++ or whatever. So what basically we do here is we go with Selenium and Java combination. This is very popular. Why Selenium Java combination? If you see this statement, I can write my automation script using Selenium with the Ruby or PHP or Perl or C# or whatever. So in any language I can start automating stuff. So whereas when you go to QTP, you always go to those in your Visual Basic scripting. So this is not like this. So you can choose your favorite language. Let's say you are good in PHP, then you can easily automate by PHP with the Selenium combination. But the market demands more in terms of Java. So what I mean by this is you should know about Java, like at least the basics OOPS concept, the inheritance, the interfaces, the basics of Java, you should know. Then it will be very easy to learn the Selenium. So we do have, yeah.
sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
For someone like me who do not have any previous technical experience, though I've used scripts which are already written, I have used them, but I have not written any hardcore script as such. So which one of these are easy to pick up for someone like me and who does not have any basic Java knowledge?
Okay, so what we generally suggest is we do have a Java session that we do. So I think Daniel will update more on this. So what we generally do is before entering to the Selenium stuff, so I recommend go to a Java session where it will be very, very easy and self-explanatory where you can learn yourself. A lot of videos are there. You just go to the videos and run them. You can easily, catch the things. And if something really you need some in depth about the things, then I am there. So when we are in a Selenium class, so I do explain the basic things about Java there also. So it might go a bit parallelly. But first you should complete about Java.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And then what basically you're going to learn when it comes to Selenium. So Selenium has a lot of, I can say a lot of flavors, something like people said someone they tried Selenium IDE or something like that. So the tools like we're going to learn more about the WebDriver, the grid, the Selenium IDE, the TestNG. TestNG is a popular framework with a combination of and I think most of people might have heard it's something like a build tool. And Apache POI API, this is from Apache, it's a free open source, and Auto IT and Wget. So whatever I have listed here, all are open source too. And some are purely from Selenium and some are not from for Selenium basically. For example, if you take WebDriver Grid Selenium ID is pure from Selenium, TestNG is totally different and is totally different, but you should know this tool because this will really help us to develop the framework. So today, once you complete the WebDriver session, you want to develop a framework, then yes, we need other dependence tools that you should know, especially the TestNG and Apache POI API. Okay, so you may not get what exactly this TestNG and POI API at this moment, that's still fine, but at least you know this word, what they really mean. Okay, so each and every session, what we do is like we will train, we will give a lot of so assignment wise. Once it's completed, we'll share the code, the working code. At the same time, we also share the the problems. So when it comes to Selenium WebDriver alone, this is what you're going to learn. Today there is a lot of challenges for a web application. That is how to handle a frame, how to automate HTML5 websites, or how to automate with the different drivers, let's say Firefox, Chrome, or IE, and how to handle alerts, and how to handle the synchronization, the web elements, the manipulation, manipulation like key up, down, drag, drop, those kind of things. And web element is something like how to submit, send keys, click, the location wise. So there are a lot of other, stuffs related to a WebDriver. So each and every thing, what I'm going to see on the screen, we're going to write a script for that. Let's say how to handle a frames, how to handle Chrome, and how to run my scripts on Chrome or Firefox or Opera or whatever. So we are going to in detail level, and you're going to see what's exactly how to automate. So once we are completed with the session, so we are going to take a live project, something like Anako timesheet. Anako timesheet is a very popular tool. So this kind of time management is a free open source again tool, and it is already hosted and running somewhere in the cloud. So anybody can easily access and log in as a guest. So we're going to automate this a small application. This is a small application from scratch, probably how to write a framework, implement, use it, and everything. We'll do that. Okay, coming to the in detail syllabus, we want to talk about the locator. I think most of the people might have heard something like Firebug or a Firefox, and Selenium ID is a pure record and a playback tool. When I say record and playback tool, all tools in this world, you take any tool that has a basis of something like a record and playback. Okay, so this is a Firefox and this is a Selenium ID you can see over here. And this Selenium ID is only works free plugin and only works for Firefox alone. You don't see for a Chrome or IE. It is not developed in that way. So this is purely a record and play tool. We'll talk more about what is the importance of record and what cons it has, what is the disadvantage, and then we'll move on to a Selenium WebDriver. So just now I showed Selenium WebDriver. We're going to talk more about these kind of components, like how to handle the frames, the drivers, the navigation, and everything. So there are a lot of steps. We're going to go in detail everything. And also a test engine and add. I told test engine is kind of a framework. When I say framework, again, it's not like hybrid or data-driven framework. It's just a base framework. From there, we can, on top of it, we can develop any kind of framework that is very popular in the market. And also Ant is a kind of a build tool, but Ant is very important because we go to the command prompt, and this you can see here the command prompt. And if I say Ant run, so when I say Ant run, automatically it should run my whole scripts. It's kind of an exe for me. So I'm going to convert my whole framework, whatever we call. I'm going to convert the kind of a exe, and when I say Ant run, it should run all my automation suite. Okay. So we'll learn what is and how to configure and how to install and from scratch everything will learn. So not to worry too much about that. And this is a page object model. This is recently we added this. So this is very popular concept. When you go to Selenium or probably so definitely they'll ask about SMB, any kind of framework, and have you ever used a page object model? So this also we're going to talk more on that. And another popular one is BDD. It's kind of a behavior driven development. It's called as a cucumber. So I'll show the brief introduction about in short. We'll then understand what is BDD. And also we're going to talk more about the frameworks. It can be. So I have a lot of frameworks. So I'll teach about how to implement the frameworks from scratch. Data driven, hybrid, form, again page object model, and a BDD. That is behavior driven development. And then at last we'll go to Jenkins. It's a continuous integration tool wherein you can seamlessly integrate with any kind of platform, OS or whatever the script, and it's basically an integration tool. I can integrate with any kind of frameworks or whatever, and I can run through a tool called Jenkins. So as a Selenium tester, you should know this concept. This is what the market demands now. It's not something like you learn only Selenium WebDriver and you learn a bit about hybrid data. That is not sufficient. So we should we are actually training as how the company does from end to end. So you'll come to know what is Jenkins, how to implement, how to integrate it, and end to end scenario. How typically the company does today. Okay. So if you go to the code, basically this is the Selenium this is Eclipse. This is again a free tool you can download. This tool is meant to write your own scripts, especially in Java. You can start writing this because you need some platform to write. So Selenium won't provide anything. Selenium just provides a jar file. Just provides a jar. So you need to download the jar and configure to any of the popular IDEs. You might have heard IntelliJ or there are IDEA, there are Eclipse. There are a lot of tools, but I am more comfortable in Eclipse. So even the market uses this kind of combination. Eclipse is more popular one. So if you see kind of data-driven framework, so wherein we create the framework something like this, the configuration, business, log, screenshot, and these are a lot of scripts that we have written. This is how it looks. This is a test engine where is the annotation at the rate kind of a test engine, and we are going to automate from scratch. We will show how to implement from scratch. Basically, how to develop them, not use them. It's not something like I developed something. I'm not forcing you to use it. I'll teach you the base. You should be strong enough to implement yourself. Okay. And this is something like page object model sessions we have. And very interesting, you guys might like is Cucumber, wherein Cucumber is again open source platform where we can easily seamlessly integrate with Selenium. So the scenarios will be kind of a natural language. Let's say Facebook. I want to log into your Facebook. you write a simple script, something like scenario logging to Facebook, and given I go to this URL and on Firefox, Chrome or whatever, and I enter username as your username and password as something XYZ, and then I click on the button and login should be successful. So this is very easy to convert your manual to automation script. We start writing with a BDD approach. I told you behavior driven development is how it's a kind of a natural language we write it. And immediately you can say right click and run as your cucumber feature automatically it runs all the tests. But corresponding web page we need to create it, like kind of a let's say login test. This is what we have created. This kind of a connectors like given and then just now we saw, right? Given and then these are something like tags. So what happens when you run this? It will pass everything and it will automate one way. So this is pretty easy, and people nowadays they are using a lot with Selenium. So they don't want to see the SNG classes or anything like this. They just want to see my test case looks more simple in terms of natural language. So if I run this, it should be able to run. That's the power of now this Cucumber. So Cucumber is not again a Selenium tool. It's totally a BDD tool, but they have given a feature wherein we can easily integrate them with the Selenium or Ruby. Ruby is a very popular one, but nowadays they are supporting with Selenium also, with Selenium with Java. Okay, so I think I'm done with the syllabus and basic course introduction. So if you have any questions.
Gururaj, I had taken a QTP course before, and
Okay.
and the trainer taught us really well. But because I did not immediately get into a project where I could use QTP, now if I just sit and think, I cannot remember one single thing about VP. So I'm going through the course material. It is really impressive. But my question is, will because you are a professional in that, it might be very easy for you. But for someone like me, will I be able to crack interviews for Selenium and survive in a company using Selenium, like writing the script and automating it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's my doubt, because when I took the QTP course, everything seemed to be fine, and I was thinking, yeah, it is doable, and I can write the script and all, but later that did not happen, so I'm just worried about that.
The problem with always the license tool. Probably if you download the QTP, it may run for 15 days. After that, how are you going to manage to update your skills? It's always difficult. But there is no problem with open source because it is in your control. You can download when you have a free time. You can practice like anything. So there is no one is controlling it because it is open source free, right? It will not it will not survive just only for 15 days and complete it. So once you have a time, then you can practice. And also what we are doing is we will share the interview questions. We have around 100 plus, so that will go from basic kind of intermediate, then we will go a little bit advanced questions, and that covers all kind of things in terms of page object model, the BGD, the framework, the testing, and WebDriver, locators. It's a mixture, so probably that makes more sense, in clearing the interviews. At the same time, what we have done is the way we write a script. Say, for example, I've written one simple script for you guys, so that let me see who will understand this script. Okay. So the way we design the code also has indirectly a kind of interview question. So we have taken and we have converted that to a script. Okay. So for example, I'll write a new class. So this is basically to create a class. We call this demo class SCP. Okay. And I just finish. So you guys need not to worry about what is this place, how to download, how to configure. We are going to teach, so I said right from scratch, like where to download the Eclipse, how to download, how to configure. Probably you might need to share the screen to me, then and there I'll fix the problem, then we'll go to the next session. So that will happens always. So it's not something like I just go through, I'll say refer the video. So you know to refer the video also, because that's the way we practice in our sessions. Okay, so I'll just write a simple web driver, so wherein it will okay, open, let's say Chrome, and go to google.com, something like that. Okay, so I'll just write web driver equal to new. So if you know the basics of Java or OOPS concept, then you can easily say what exactly it's trying to do. Any idea what it's trying to do here? I mean, the first line here.
You guys
understand? Yeah.
It is going to open a new web page using Chrome browser, and now we are going to write what page it has to open.
Yeah, it just opens the web, browser, not the web page. Now, when I say driver.get, it opens the page. So that is fine with in terms of, as you said, it opens Chrome, Firefox. That's fine. But in terms of Java, I'm asking, like what exactly it means is like somebody has created an interface. I'm going to create an object instance for that. Whenever I create an object of a particular class, so I will get exposed to more methods, what they have written. That method is called as get. Get is the method of this particular object. So how you create an object? We are going to create an object instance. WebDriver is someone has created the interface. So using that, I'm just going to create an object. So why I'm creating? Because I will get an access to those methods. So what are those methods? Get is one type of method. So what get says, or get or navigate, something like this. So it will navigate to a particular page. Let's say driver.get, it will navigate to, or it will open a page. Which page? You are given http www.google.com. Just open. So in the same way, we have covered, let's say, lot of things, very interesting things, like how to automate checkbox. So we write a simple for loop here. So we just define everything in a list. If you understand the collections in Java, then it's pretty easy to do that. So in the same way, dynamic web table. So the way we teach is first we'll go with the hardcore stuff, then automatically I will give the permanent solution for this. So at the same time, you also need to understand the basics of HTML, structure. When I say HTML structure, something like right-click view source, or probably I can say inspect it above. And if I go to, let's say, submit button. So you need to understand the basic, what is this input ID, what is this ID, so what is this type. So I refer go to w3.com. We can easily learn what is HTML, what is the structure of it. I'm not asking in terms of learn the HTML tags and develop something. At least we should know what is tag, what is input tag. Let's say what is there is a button, there's a text box here. Click on this. What is the input ID? What is the type text? So the basic stuff, if you know, then it's very easy to automate in terms of learning. It's easy. It might look very difficult. Oh, there's a lot of code here, but we'll go line by line. We can easily learn them. It's not so hard. And also, if you want to see the WebDriver framework, I can just give a very high level about WebDriver. That is hybrid-driven framework. It's very popular. So what we generally do in this kind of frameworks is like we're going to write a test case in Excel sheet. So Microsoft Excel sheet, wherein I say see this here, open browser, it should open a browser. Which browser? We're going to configure, let's say Chrome. I'll say navigate. Just now I did driver.get, right? Something like navigate. Where you want to navigate? I want to navigate to, let's say, Facebook. Write input, what do you want to write? Because write input is a text box. It says you give me the data. So what is the data? You just give the data providers here in Excel sheet. and go back to steps and just rewrite the keywords like open, navigate, write, click. Sleep means wait for some seconds. So what happens, this scenario will log into your, whatever the application you configure. Okay, so now if I go back to and, let's say I've developed this framework and I want to run this framework, then what I generally do, I'll go to and, this is a command line tool, and I'll say compile. I want to compile the whole source code. And when I say run, what happens is going to open a Chrome browser because I've configured that as a Chrome, and it will start automating the things whatever you have done here. Let's see if it's open. Yeah, it's open. See this? It's open and it went to this application and you should log in as guest list. The script is written very simple outside the code, and it's very easy. Anybody can within your team can easily automate. Like train them about the hybrid driven framework without any Selenium knowledge, they can easily automate. Any layman can automate. That's the whole idea of developing hybrid driven framework. So how they develop is pretty easy. So go back here and just say in hybrid driven frameworks, you just say something like this. You can easily automate. Like open browser, navigate, click. Anyone can automate. Oh, I can't send them. Okay. So you got the rough idea, is it?
Yes, Guru. I got it.
Okay. Fine. So you guys have any questions?
Yeah, that's what last time, as I was telling you about my previous experience with QTP.
Mm-hmm.
I attended an interview. First question the guy asked me is like, he gave me a scenario and asked me what framework will you use and what is the script you're going to write for this particular scenario. Even though I knew the concepts of QTP, like parameterization, data-driven framework, or as you were writing sleep, like that, the weight property and stuff like that. The first question he asked me was like, gave a scenario, and he's like, tell me the line-by-line script what you're going to write. So I was completely blank. So that's what my worry is.
So, yeah. Now, we will not only teach one framework because the people expect me to give different flavors. Like some people expect, okay, I want only data-driven framework. Some people say I want only hybrid. Someone say, can you extend form with hybrid? There are a lot of combinations are there. So you should be smart enough to answer their question. So by understanding their requirement, you can easily answer them with once you're done with all kinds of frameworks. So you can, according to me, when you ask this question, I'd say we used form in our company, which is a kind of page object model where we define each page into a page factory. Then on top of this, we'll write a simple hybrid driven framework wherein I can drive my test scripts through Excel sheet. And for each keyword, can you see this keyword, right? Column. For each keyword, I'll write a corresponding functions called as keyword class, and then I'll just automate. That's a very high level. Then probably you may impress a little bit, then say, okay, can you write a code for this? So we can easily write the code. So the code is available here. It will be shared to you. So practice it. Once you practice, you will come to know what exactly it's trying to do. Then you can easily answer them. You can explain about the we configure the configuration, listeners, we use the logs, Apache logs, we will write our own utility. When you say utility is nothing but external source, not with the Selenium, and it's kind of Excel driven, then you can really explain stuff very well, like driver script or keyword scripts. I think probably once you go in detail, then you can easily answer those kind of questions.